My name's Elliott Courtman. I'm 27 years old. I was formerly an aircraft engineer in the Royal Navy, which I did for around 6 years. Now I was away with the Navy. I was on the Queen Elizabeth ship, working in the North Sea. We were just doing what we do every day, bringing the helicopter in, lashing it down it's called when you're at sea. You lash down in 8 different points so it's secure to the floor. So we brought the helicopter into its space, lashed down the front, or the back 6 should I say, and the front 2 have to wait till last because there's a machine that you use to turn it, which has to come off first before you secure the last lashings. I was at the front, so I went underneath the helicopter you take off 2 plates off either side of the wheels and put them back into it's like a robot type machine. So I stuck them in there, and the ram sort of got detached from the wheel. I then turned round to lash down my 2 lashings, and I turned straight into an aerial. So the aerial was behind me, and I turned straight into it, and the aerial basically penetrated through my eyelid and into my eye. So it ripped my eyelid off my face and popped my eyeball. Not knowing this at the time, I just thought I'd sort of scraped my face. So I sort of stood up straight away and shouted to my friend and said, look, I can't see. And I saw that he was pale as a ghost straight away. So at that point I knew that it wasn't good. And from then I started to hear the ship sirens, like the warning sirens and stuff, the alarms and things, and I was thinking to myself, what's this for? And I quickly realised that it was for me. I was like the casualty. But at this point I didn't know anything about my eye really. I didn't know any. I just thought that I'd sort of, cut my eye or something, or I had no idea the severity of what happened. Getting to the hospital and seeing the specialist who sort of obviously looked at my eye, he had to tell me straight away that the injury was, very significant, and he basically told me I was never going to be able to see again. This eye was effectively done. The injury was too bad, the damage was too bad. Sort of post-injury, I was bedbound for about a month, where I was cared for. Couldn't really do a lot of stuff on my own. I really was. Couldn't really get out of bed. I was having help shower and stuff because I was in so much pain. I couldn't see. Obviously, it's affecting both of my eyes. Where one's have so much trauma, my other eye would sort of shut and stuff, and it was just really difficult to see anything. I went back to work late August, not working on aircraft or anything, but just sort of showed my face. But no one at this point sort of seemed to take me to one side and pull me away from me and say, look, you just had a life-changing injury. You could probably slow down a bit. I feel like at that point, knowing what I know now, someone higher had a duty of care to tell me, you're not going on a promotion course. You just had a life-changing injury. This needs to be sorted. But I obviously wanted to progress and I wanted to be promoted, and so it was a bit difficult. But I just feel like now that choice probably should have been taken out of my hands. I just feel like the Navy didn't understand the depth of the injury. My friend's wife was Natasha Orr. She's a solicitor who specialises in military cases at Slater and Gordon. I had a conversation with Natasha, and obviously she told me how she could help me and stuff, and she asked me, were the Navy doing this, were they doing that, things like that, and effectively they weren't doing anything. I wasn't aware of any of this either, and basically it just put things in place for me that made getting better, and also doing the course and stuff at the time, it made it a lot easier for me. Things were put in place, and after my eye had deteriorated, I got which I didn't know about until Natasha told me, is I got moved to like a recovery squadron. It's a lot more personal, and you can get all the care you need. I managed to finish the promotion course, and I went back to my squadron down in Cornwall, and from this point things deteriorated pretty rapidly. Like I started to this eye started to water, my good eye started to water all the time, and like kind of when you like say look into the sun you can't really see. That happened all the time, just in general, sort of walking around, and I'd be able to not see, and I was in a lot of pain. Like on the pain scale I was like 9 out of 10, some days 10 out of 10. It really was horrendous. And I actually phoned up my solicitor Natasha and said, like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm in so much pain, because at this point I was waiting for an NHS operation to have my eye taken out. It had already been cancelled once, and I just couldn't wait. So I said, look, I need something done. I cannot do this. And she managed to sort me out some private healthcare to have my eye removed and treated. I think off the top of my head it was within about 5 weeks. It was quick, you know. That was from the day I called her to being in the theatre and having my eye taken out, which I had in London, which got rid of the headache. I think she was brilliant all the way through. Communication was brilliant. She got the settlement I believe I sort of deserved out of the case. Yeah, I would recommend Slater and Gordon 100%. Yeah, if anyone ever came to me and said, you know, I need a solicitor, that's where I'd be sending them, especially if it was military based, because I got the exact outcome that I deserve and wanted, and my life now is in a lot better place. I think massively to do with Natasha and how she's helped. It's still not perfect, you know. I still do have to wipe my eye a fair bit, but it's nothing like it was before. You have to learn to deal with it, and you have to try and bring the positives out of the situation, because I can tell you now that if you just sit there and, you know, bury your head and think all negatives, things just won't get better. You'll just effectively be stuck in a hole. But you need to try and help yourself. It's so hard, but you need to do it, and you need to find things that give you, you know, motivation or purpose or something.